Coming to bed, honey?
Yes, dear.
When it comes to the United States, what do people think of? I personally think of the great big cities such as New York, Chicago, Detroit, and the expansive great roadways that run their course throughout North America and even wind through the cities mentioned. People in the States would tend to agree that from home, they drive to work, to the grocery stores, to their friend's house, bars, etc. People drive anywhere, anytime they need to or want to because society is built around cars, right? It's the easiest method of transportation, right? Isn't it the norm to drive anywhere? Isn't it the only way to get around town? To a lot of people, it is. But for a majority of the world, we are looked down upon because of our heavy car usage and our dependence to it. Today, I'll be going over 3 simple reasons why a car-based infrastructure plan is bad for US society. 1. Walking promotes a healthier lifestyle over driving. Number 2. Road-based urban design limits positive human social interaction. And 3. The impact of a car-based society affects us. Before we get into that, I want to go over some history. At the turn of the century in 1901, the Industrial Revolution was in full swing, and production was easier than ever with the introduction of many new machines. Worker wages were going up, and business no longer had 5 to 10 employees, but hundreds of thousands of employees. Years later, there were 2 great wars that spanned the world. Many horrible things happened during that time, but with great darkness came great light. President Eisenhower at the time implemented mass work for the construction of the Defense Highway System, which became known as the Interstate Highway System. In fear of invasion from other countries, he needed a way to bring troops from one side of the US to other. The highway system later became incredibly influential to American culture. Many cities and towns later were constructed around the premise of the highway system. During the war, America's mass production capabilities became known to the world, showing that this young nation was innovative and capable of adapting. At the end of the war, many factories had no more weapons of war to produce, and a lot of men and women came back from the war to a country who was no longer in a depression. With the mass number of factories and labor force, items became cheaper and cheaper. No longer were the rich the only ones able to afford automobiles, but the common man could acquire one too. At the time, a changing culture had happened. While the changing culture in American society surrounding the automobile revolution brought many qualities of life to society at the time, and still to the present day, we do enjoy a lot of things that other countries do not, it brought a plague of negative effects that too many which could have never been predicted. Car-based infrastructure had become bad for society in the United States. It has started affecting people in their everyday lives, which leads me into my next thing. In a Harvard Medical School report by Elson Lauren, Walking for Health, Why This Simple Form Activity Could Be Your Best Health Insurance. In the report, she goes over the many benefits of walking. One of the most substantial pieces of evidence that stuck out to me was the fact that when they prescribed an antidepressant or 30 minutes of walking or jogging 3 times a week to a group of men and women diagnosed with major depression, they observed similar improvements in both groups. In the United States, about 1 in every 10 Americans aged 12 and over take antidepressant medication, and at the same time, America has some of the least walkable urban designs in the world. If you were to walk at least 3 times a week for 30 minutes each, you would have the same benefits as taking antidepressant. But ask yourself this: how often do you walk a week? One thing we could do to fix this is by having more walkable cities. A concept by Verma Suma, what is a 15-minute walking city? Basically, you would have everything you need within a 15-minute walk. That includes a grocery store, your friend's house, whatever you need, the doctor's office, your work, within 15 minutes of walking or biking. That would dramatically increase the amount of walking we would do in a single day. In conclusion, walking promotes a healthier lifestyle than driving, most importantly in community and mental health. Road-based urban design often limits positive social interaction with one another, and the impact of a car-based society affects how we live right now. The next time you decide to drive 4 minutes to get that Starbucks, ask yourself, why not walk? Thank you.